I'm back with another reading from Negro Myths from the Georgia coast. This is myth number 29, the two friends and the bear. Two friends, them been making one journey together. Them have to go through one thick swamp which full of bears and other varmints. Them promise to stand to one another and help one another out if the varmint should attack them. Them ain't been getting halfway through the swamp when one big black bear jump out of the bush and make for them. Instead of one of them stand to help fight him, he leave his friend and climb one tree. The other friend, he been hearing it say, bear no going to eat dead people. So him lay down on the ground and hold his breath and shut his eyes and make out to say him been dead. The bear come up to him and smell him and turn him over and try to catch his breath. When he find he can't catch his breath, he gone off a little way and he watch him. Then he turn back and smell him again and notice him close. At length, he make up his mind and he say the man been dead for true. And with that, he leave him for good and go on back in the wood. All this time, the other friend done squinch himself up in the tree and watch what been going on. He that scared, he won't do nothing to help his friend or try to run the bear off. When he find the bear done gone for show, he holler to his friend and say, what the bear been telling you? Him and you seem like you been having a close conversation. Then his friend make answer, he been telling me never to trust nobody who call himself a friend and who gonna run like a coward soon as trouble come. You know what? This is something that I say all the time. The only person who is ever going to have your back 100% of the time is you. And I say that as someone with great friends and a great family. Let me make that clear, because I know a lot of people have families who, they aren't close to, they can't go to for nothing. And a lot of people have friends who will leave them for dead, literally, like freezer friends, okay? If y'all remember that story. But I say this as someone who, I have a good family and good friends. Because bottom line, end of the day, even though my family and friends will go hard to help me anytime they can, sometimes they may not be able to. Like, don't get me wrong. My family will go through thick and thin to look out for each other. Like, I am so blessed to have a family like this. I swear to God, bro. But there may be some times where somebody legitimately can't do nothing to help you. Like, it's not even like they can be like, oh, I'm going to make some shit shake. I will figure out a way to make this work. Like, for whatever reason, they literally cannot help you at all. So I say this all the time. The only person that you have is yourself. And I don't say this to be like, I don't say this to be, Debbie Downer, I don't say it for that reason. I say it because the most important thing you can do in your life is always be prepared. Actually, let me tell y'all a story. So I had a friend, this was back years ago. His grandma told him that she would help him pay for a car. So he was like, oh, let me get the newest car I can. Like, he got a brand new Jeep, whatever, right? Like, that year just came off the line, right? So his car note was something ridiculous, okay? Like, it had to be like at least like $600 a month. And mind you, we were in college back then. Like, we didn't have a lot of money for real, right? So I think his grandma initially, she started off helping him with the payments, but I believe his grandma ended up getting like Alzheimer's or something crazy. So, she couldn't even help herself, much less help him with anything. And it turned out that he ended up having to turn the car back into the dealership. That went on his credit. Like, it's a whole huge thing because he could not afford the payments. Now, that's not because his grandma was unreliable or anything. It's not her fault that she got Alzheimer's and, could not help him anymore. That's not the point that I'm pushing, right? But my point is this. If I had been in his situation and my grandma had told me that, I wouldn't have went out and got the most expensive car that I could. I would have gotten a car that I could afford by myself, right? So I would have got me a nice little used car note only like $200 a month, something I can afford on my own. And if my grandma wanted to send me half of the amount or the entire amount, since it's such a smaller amount versus a new car, then great, right? But bottom line, end of the day, if my grandma cannot help me out, then it's not the end of the world for me. I can still do it on my own. This brings me to the point of this story. Now, of course, there are people like this friend who will leave you for dead at the first sign of trouble, right? But this person was okay because He knew that bears will leave you alone if you played dead. He went into the woods knowing that he would be okay even by himself, even without the friend helping him. And that is why he survived.